welcome back. And yes, the cookies are delicious. And they're not too sweet. So if you're trying to watch your sugar, this is a real possibility. Now, if you tuned in late, Marie Hegler from Clemson University is here with me with these wonderful recipes and some tips on good health and things that you can incorporate your children into during the summertime especially. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a learning process for them.
Exactly. Next, I'm going to make a parfait, which means perfect in French. Perfect. But we are going to start with making our own granola, which is where you can get kids helping. So you can buy granola, of course, and then have them assemble it. But they could actually help you make granola. And of course, we're going to start off with rolled oats, old-fashioned, not the quick kind. And we have 1.5 cups of rolled oats. And if this makes about a little over 2 cups of granola, so you could easily double it, triple it, however, because these are pretty good increments to
So you've
double
got 2 cups.
We have 1/2 cup, 1 1/2 cup of rolled oats.
Oh, okay.
This whole granola is going to make
Okay.
about 2 cups. And then I think these are in 1/4 cups. So we have some sliced almonds.
1/4 cup of sliced almonds.
1/4 cup of chopped pecans. 1/4 cup, I think these are all 1/4 cup.
Chopped walnuts.
1/4 cup of chopped walnuts.
It makes it easy. Everything is 1/4 cup.
And again, if you wanted more of one nut and you didn't like, you can.
Okay.
And then 1/4 cup of sweetened dried cranberries, just like the ones we had in the cookie. You could use raisins, use golden raisins. You could use whatever kind of dried fruit you like.
All right.
Or you could put even more dried fruit in this. This is sort of a very basic granola recipe. Then we're just going to add a little bit of salt, 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. This is actually a teaspoon, so I won't do the whole thing.
And you know, they say now that cinnamon is very good for you.
I have heard that, but I haven't investigated that further to specify that, but I have heard people talking about that. Then we're just going to stir that together. And the only thing left is the sweetening component, which is going to be maple syrup.
Okay.
Again, I'm using maple syrup just for mainly for flavor.
You have 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Everything is 1/4 cup, which makes it easy.
So if you wanted to double this, everything would be 1/2 cup.
Yeah.
And then
And you just toss that around.
yeah, and you'll see it starts getting coated by the maple syrup. And you want to preheat your oven to 325.
Okay.
And this is kind of one of those things that you want to.
And then you just spread this evenly in a baking dish. Now, do you spray that?
I'm going to spray it.
All right.
And you kind of want to stick around because this is going to this takes like 15 to 20 minutes to bake and get golden. But you want to make sure every 5 minutes you're stirring it.
You want to check it. Okay. You don't want a whole lot, do you?
Just coat it a little bit. Yeah. Perfect.
How's that?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to spread it in the pan.
And that's a 325 oven.
325.
You just spread it out, and then it'll be ready.
And then every 5 minutes, I take it out, give it a little stir, put it back in. So you would do that 2 or 3 times, depending on.
Okay, then it's ready.
And then it's ready.
Okay.
So I'm going to.
Okay. Now.
I have some prepared that I'll grab out of the.
Okay, I'll let you grab it out of the oven then. And I think that you could use any kind of fruit with this. And this it could be a very fancy dessert.
Yes, and
it really could.
If you put it in a fancy cup, that looks real fancy.
So you put it in a fancy dish, and people think you've slaved all day. And this you can make and use however you want.
Exactly, and you can just put, over milk. I mean, you can put some with milk.
You could put it on cereal.
Have yogurt, put it on there.
Yeah. Or if somebody's sitting around watching TV, it's better to have that than junk food.
You could put it on some ice cream, although you just said junk food, so maybe not.
So now your parfait is what?
And before I start assembling, so I just have, this is for about 4 servings. We're going to use 2 cups of yogurt, I'm using low-fat vanilla Greek yogurt, but you can use plain yogurt. You can use whatever kind of yogurt you like. And then about 2 cups of berries. So I have some raspberries and strawberries. And what I did with the strawberries, and what I'm going to do right now, is I had a little, because strawberries aren't, I mean, they're in season at the moment. But if you get some that are kind of tart, an easy thing to do is to mash them up a little bit and put a little sugar with them, and then stir that together so it just kind of brings out the sweetness. We're not talking about a lot of anything.
All right.
So what I normally do.
And of course, you could use any kind of fruit with this. I mean, couldn't you use peaches or?
Yeah, you could use bananas, peaches. Chop up some grapes. Kind of whatever you want to. And this is just going to make it. It's also going to start kind of a little bit of a fruit syrup. So I'm going to.
But now this is, you've already done this.
I did.
So.
But I'm going to add a little bit more to it.
Oh, you're going to put more in there. Okay.
So I just add, I mean, you don't need that much of sugar, just a little sprinkling of it.
Oh, and then you're going to.
Let's see if I don't.
Okay.
This is when you can get a kid to come in and mash up strawberries. That seems like a fun thing, I think, for a child. You just kind of want it to start, the juices starting to come out of the strawberries. And then I just add that to this bowl. I'm going to try to stir this, but it's probably going to go everywhere. Oh, no. Oh, there you go. You always got to drop one. Yes.
And fruit is so good for you.
And the summertime, this fruit's going to be super ripe, super delicious. Okay, so one lone strawberry.
Now then you put I'll see what you do. You put the parfait,
so
you can make it as fancy as you want.
You can use this cute little glass that I found.
All right.
But you could just use a little bowl or something. And then all you do is now you can do your layers however you want as well. Bring this closer to me so I don't make a mess. But I do yogurt on the bottom. Kind of smooth it out. You're gonna add a little, well, I'm gonna reach. Little granola.
And see, you're getting something that is very good for you. At the same time, it looks like you're having a very fancy dessert.
Yeah, and this is good for a breakfast, snack, dessert.
That's right, you could use this for breakfast.
Make you feel real fancy because you got it in this cute little cup. All right.
So it's just a matter of...
Put a little more of this on there.
Oh, okay.
I was not satisfied with that appearance. And then, I knew I was going to do that at some point. I put it just far enough away for me to make a mess.
Then you want more fruit. And this would serve handsomely if 4 or 5 people.
Yes. And then since I have this leftover strawberry, I'm going to be fancy.
Oh, you're going to decorate it.
Yeah, I'm going to fan out. So if you were going to do this for Mother's Day.
Yeah. Or any special occasion. Look at that. Ooh.
Boom.
How pretty. Oh, Marie, that's nice.
And a parfait usually means, I think it's more of a frozen custard that you use in ice cream. So this is sort of I guess a healthier version of a parfait. But lots of times we see it in America as yogurt and granola and berries. But
well, that's a wonder. Now this is a wonderful, really whole grain folder, and the recipes are on here, plus health benefits. And if you're trying to learn, and there's a lot in here about whole grains, it's important to know these things. And when you go to the grocery store and you spend your food dollar, take time to read the labels, because you will be amazed at some of the stuff that's in there, and you don't need it.
yeah, you want to make at least half your grains whole. The Whole Grain Council has a seal that they put on all the whole grain products. Mm-hmm. So sometimes if you see things that are like multi-grain or 7-grain or whole wheat, that doesn't necessarily mean it's whole grain. So you got to be careful.
Okay.
So Whole Grain Council, I think there's tons of products out there that have a little seal on it that tell you whether or not it's actually whole grain.
So
Makes
it
sense.
just takes, it pays to take a little extra time.
Mm-hmm.
But these are family friendly, things that your children can get involved and do, and this is yours free for the asking. And I really appreciate this lovely folder, Marie, and the picture on the front. So if you like that, the number of this recipe is 836, and we get lots of mail and we have lots of recipes. And if we don't know, have that number, we open it up, we don't really know what you wanted. So send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Peggy Denny Show, Post Office Box 1616, Greenville, South Carolina 29602, and put the number on there, number 836, and we'll send it to you, or you can click on peggydenny.com, and we'll do our best to keep up to date with all of our recipes. And Marie, thank you for you. Do you create a lot of the recipes that you share with people?
Yes, ma'am. And actually, that cookie recipe came from a group I worked with at Clemson, the Creative Inquiry. It was an undergraduate research group, and they helped me develop that recipe. But it was a gluten-free recipe initially, so I added some gluten to it. But so a lot of that we tested and came up with a lot of different healthy recipes. So a lot of those I'm kind of reworking now to see how they work
And the
out.
nice part about this is any fruit that you like or any fruit that is plentiful at the time, you can use, because I think this would be great with peaches.
Oh yes,
You know,
It'll be really good with
our
pieces.
South Carolina peaches we are
Yeah.
famous for. Marie Hegler, will you come back?
Oh, yes, of
Thank
course,
you
always.
so much.
Thanks for having me.
From Clemson University, and wherever you are, stay healthy. We'll see you next time.